Third hour of the Elias Makos Show, and thanks for keeping it locked to CJAD 100 on this Friday morning. Now, if you've seen the new John Wick 4 movie or Netflix's Stranger Things, you may not be aware of this, but the visual effects in both were done right here in Montreal. In fact, the VFX industry now employs over 6,000 people across the province. Let's check in with one of the biggest players in visual effects, the team at Rodeo FX, and it's our pleasure to welcome Elliot Francoeur, who's Recruitment Manager over at Rodeo FX, onto the program. Elliot, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, I'm one of those people that I try when I watch a show on a streaming service or a movie, I try and watch the credits, right? Because I want to see who's worked on it. And I've got friends who are in the industry, so I'm always looking at that. And I'm not surprised now, but it's so nice to see when you're seeing the credits roll and you see the VFX teams, and then you realize, a lot of this work was done in Quebec. And sometimes you see the Quebec government logo because of subsidies at the end of a thing. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about that, Elliot. For people who don't wait for the credits, just how much of Hollywood, TV, film, and the Canadian side of things, just how much is happening right here in Quebec?
Well, in Quebec, actually, we're now in the top hub of VFX, community around the world. I think we're second or third in terms of size. So as you can imagine, it implies that potentially a third of all the production that you've seen or you're about to see is being done here.
Wow, a third. That's a lot, and I guess
that's a lot.
and it goes along with an industry that's in demand that has high salaries as well. Let's talk a little bit about Rodeo FX, since that's your company here.
Yes.
Why don't you tell our listeners here because I know you normally can't talk about the projects you're working on or future stuff, but boy, if we look at what you've done, it's pretty impressive.
So Rodeo FX, we're a high-end creative company. We're offering services primarily in visual effects, but as well in advertising, animation, experiential. Just over the last few years, we've worked on a lot of amazing projects. I can share a few information regarding what we have currently, like Foundation Season 2, The Witcher. We just completed our work on The Little Mermaid for Disney, but we've also completed throughout the last few years crazy, innovative, and impressive work on shows like Stranger Things, Foundation Season 1. Were all nominated for the outstanding visual effects at the Emmys, and we're on a continuous path for growth and expansion.
So when it comes to growth and expansion, you need certain things, right? You need talent. You need to find people here. Why is Montreal? Why has it become a spot where you can find so much talent? Well,
it became a spot, I would say, throughout the year. Mainly because, a part of the technology was kind of invented here. Softimage, which was started by Daniel Langlois a while back, was the key factor in Jurassic Park once they decided not to go with props and they decided to go the CGI way. And throughout that, it kind of created, a pool of talent locally that as like our president, Sébastien, he started as an artist, went abroad, worked at ILM's, George Lucas company, worked at Peter Jackson in New Zealand at Weta, and then decided, to come back and, had a vision on how he wanted, to do visual effects and what he could create here. And he was not alone. Some of these artists are now, the biggest names in the industry, and they make our Montreal community very proud because right now they're at the helm of like some of the most major and known studio around the world.
We're with Elliot Francoeur. We're talking about Montreal's visual effects industry. He's at Rodeo FX, one of the top names when it comes to visual effects out there. So, Elliot, you mentioned Jurassic Park, and they made that decision, right? They were going to use real props. They went to CGI. Right now in the industry, is everything CGI? Like is that why business is booming, because it just makes sense to use CGI?
So obviously, I think from the financial aspects, it obviously makes sense. It would become incredibly expensive to recreate, let's say, New York from the 50s in the old port if you wanted to. While having our team here using matte painting or background or replacement can do something as precise as and as perfect from within a small studio here in Montreal. So obviously it's a matter of cost, but it's also a matter of a lot of creativity is obviously super important in all those production. You see more and more projects that ask us to create magic things that aren't real, and this is obviously more easier to do with the help of computers than it is to do props on it.
Elliot, you do recruitment, so I'd love to talk about where you find talent. Is it coming out of the schools in the city? Are you scouring the globe? How do you view finding the best talent?
A bit of both. We scatter around the globe for sure, because there's the key element in all candidates is creativity and passion. It is an industry where you can still start doing your own stuff on at home on you alone and still become a great visual effects artist. But we do also, and I'm not gonna lie, we're very active in the local school industry because there is a tremendous amount of talent that are now graduating every year to help us support this industry, and we're very very proud to hire a lot of people locally and seeing them grow within our team.
Is it easy to convince someone to move to Montreal? Let's say you want to get some talent from around the world. How does it work when you want to convince someone who could work in LA, or they could work in Berlin, or they could work in Montreal, or all cities around the world? How's that job of convincing them to come to Montreal?
Well, it is. I wouldn't lie. It's not that hard. I think Montreal is where the cool kids hang. So we're multicultural city. We're a 4-season city. I have a line for every season that someone would ask me to explain, but the city is so vibrant that it makes it makes people are aware of Montreal, and they I think it's in the line of the city that you just mentioned. We're a cool city, vibrant. We have it's a university city as well. So people are kind of attracted to it.
Okay, let's do a little role play to end this interview. I'm going to pretend like I'm like a top VFX person. You're going to try to convince me to come to Montreal. So imagine we're in this process, and I say to you, Elliot, hey, how's the weather in Montreal? I hear it's really cold. I don't know if I want to live in a cold place.
So, well, obviously we have a cold period during the time, but it's when you gather with your family, with your close friend, and you cook home meal and things like that. You Netflix and chill, but it's just a short period until the energy of the city is gonna boil back, and everybody gonna have an excitement to go outside and enjoy the vibrant city that we have. It's also festival city, so more than 150 festival that like one after the other during the year. So there's something for every taste.
All right. Well, listen, if winter is a short time of the year, I accept your offer. I'll take the job. Elliot, thank you so much for coming on the program.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Elliot Francoeur is recruitment manager at Rodeo FX, one of those big firms in VFX, and chances are you've seen a TV show or a movie that's a lot of the amazing stuff has come out of Rodeo FX.